Hi, everybody. So, Rae and I are together today, and we're going to chat about a bunch of different things. So, we just want to kind of talk about some of the new things that are happening and also touch on some of the things that are going on in your own realm, your body, your emotional realm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Has anyone been in their head a lot lately?
Mhm.
Um, I know I have been. I've been feeling the heaviness for sure. Honey and I were just saying it's like almost like a slow motion, like a right before. And Honey doesn't necessarily feel this way, but we can feel this. I can feel it in the collective. I'm very much someone who is I feel along with the collective what the collective feels. So I feel like it's that moment where right before the big exciting thing happens, like let's say I was giving this example. Let's say you're playing basketball and there's a guy and he's going and he jumps and he leaps and he's about to make a slam dunk. And it's like that slow motion moment right before the exciting part, right? That's where we are. We are in That's why time has been feeling wonky. Maybe days have been feeling slower or longer, or you're missing chunks of time. And it's like, what is going on? It's because things are being reset and adjusted to really keep us on this highest timeline. So it's okay. We just know that the slow motion part means we're literally like this close. It's so close. So we just have to remember that.
Mhm. It is
Yeah.
so close. I do feel the slow motion of it. I don't feel the heaviness of the collective anymore because I actually went in and I used to carry that around with me, but I went into the Akashic records and let go of that recently
Yeah.
because it
Beautiful.
is really super draining.
Mm. Mhm.
Yeah. Which,
Yes.
yeah, we're all in that learning our own sovereignty mode right now.
Yeah, bringing energy down from the head into the heart too.
Yeah.
That's something we can do now, something I just did this morning because like the heaviness has also been because of the thoughts. The thoughts are just like, well, when is this gonna happen? What is gonna happen? How is it gonna happen? And it's very draining because you're just going in loops and
Mhm.
circles. So bringing all of that energy consciously down into the heart and just saying, hey, heart, how are you feeling? So
Yeah, and just knowing that it's going to happen at the perfect time. And we're not choosing that, but we can allow it. So anything in yourself that's not allowing all that stuff to happen, maybe a secret fear of, I won't be able to go get milk every day, or, whatever it is, try and let that go, or go and cut the contract to that. Ask, why am I afraid? Will I lose access to my bank account for 5 days or 3 days, or like those kind of things? We really have to be willing to be a little bit uncomfortable during the transition. And I don't think it's going to be very long, but we need to allow that to happen. And then we're going to get through it so much faster. So I think that's important for people too, is to let go of that. What's going to happen before the beautiful stuff comes in? What if there's
mm,
3 days of weirdness, where I can't do exactly what I want every day, you know? And I usually
yeah,
get it's about 3 to 9 days.
yeah,
And the 9 feels really unusual to me. That would be
yeah, it
a
feels
really
short.
big city. Yeah.
Feels shorter to me. Yeah, it feels to me more like 3 to 5.
Yeah.
Um, Maui just burned, Lahaina, which is crazy because I was thinking about this. When I saw it on TikTok, I saw it like the next morning, I think right after it happened. And I got my first tattoo ever on my foot in Lahaina on Maui when I was like, I don't know, 20. And of sea turtles on my feet, actually, which are one of my spirit animals. I know that now. But it's just so crazy, like that I've been to that place so many times and now it's all gone. And that place was, it was kind of like if in it's an art, it was like an art place. Everything was expensive, fancy restaurants, just art walk, like really expensive art that people would buy from come from all over the world. And I mean, wow. So all that to say, why am I bringing that up? Because there are still many more things like that that are going to be taking place. So we have to just kind of remind ourselves to not we're allowed to process that grief and like feel that if we want to, but we can also separate ourselves, you know, we can cut that cord. Like, where is that? Is it a fear-based kind of grief, right? Or is it where is it coming from? So preparing ourselves emotionally, because there's going to be more things like that, you know?
Yeah, there will be a few more for sure. And I said why it, like, I gave a little more information on Telegram, which you can't really say here. But there's a lot of stuff going on that it needs to be wrapped up. So things that need to be wrapped up, you may see something like that happen. And it's really unfortunate. I do get that the people will do very well. There will be something that comes back to them because they went through that. But that's not going to happen right away. So they're going to have to work through their trauma over it. Yeah. But we've
There's
all had
also
some big trauma lately.
mhm.
Mhm.
There's also still going to be a fake ET invasion, which I already saw the first reports of it in Peru. There was video going around about it, and I just tuned into it and looked at the videos and was like,
I know.
they attacked a village, and I was like, those look kind of like, to me, they looked like humanoid AI creatures. I don't know. It was a can't say that word, mixed with maybe some other type of ET that, yeah. So it felt very hybrid, very man-made, human-made. Like it didn't
Yeah.
feel,
And they have
yeah,
stories like that in Peru that have been going back for endless years and years. And that's from a kind of an ET that was here before we were, that was kind of a green color, that lived underground and was stealing people.
yeah,
So it's basically referencing that. And they've built
yeah,
that story to create some kind of
yeah,
drama. Yeah.
yeah. So just don't buy into it. Like, don't buy into that kind of stuff. It's just
Mhm.
their last attempts to try to scare people.
Yeah. Well, and they really have very little power at this point. So, the ones that we really are not interested in having power anymore.
Yeah.
We're very cagey
So that's
today.
good. Speaking of that, so I know many of us energy workers, not just energy workers, but just beings on this planet, you know, anyone watching this, have struggled with our nutrition, with our health, and feel like we've tried so many things, you know, we've tried all the diets, we've tried every like the spiritual stuff, like all of it, you know, the fasting, the cleanses, like we've done it all, and yet why are we not losing the weight? Like what the hell is going on? So, good news. I've met someone, Amira. She's the one who was on the last video that Honey and I did together. She was the bottom one. We forgot to introduce her. She didn't have her video on, so it was kind of confusing. I'm really sorry about that. Her name's Amira. She is incredibly gifted with ancient nutrition. So she's done all of the work energetically as well as research wise to know which foods are actually meant to be consumed by the human body.
Right.
So she actually has a class and a list. So we're gonna talk more about that at some point. But I just wanted you all to know that like it's not your fault. It's not your fault that the diets haven't worked. It's not your fault that you couldn't figure it out. You've been trying to figure it out. It's not like you're a failure. It's just that there's been hidden information. Information has intentionally been kept from us to keep us sick on purpose. And some of us are more genetically disposed to carry weight. It just is what it is. I mean, and that's okay. We're carrying, this is our cross to carry.
Yeah, you could break that too, though.
But you know what I mean? It's an
Yeah.
analogy. Like, this is our particular set of cards that we've been dealt, and we're doing our best, and we're not failures because we don't look like athletes. It's fine.
Yeah. And
We
that's
didn't have
huge.
the information.
Yeah. The regular human body, especially women, is meant to carry more fat than the male body. And I think, some of the things that we see, especially on TV or the movies, like it's not really accurate of what, people have looked like in the past. So you have more of a
People in the past,
normal.
no one in the past has ever had. That's the thing. I feel very strong. I'm okay. I know I've had this vision since I was young, as far as knowing that like if we have perfect energetic health, then our perfect physical bodies, we will have barely any fat. We won't need it because fat is just created by toxins. If there's no toxins, there won't be hardly any fat because,
In comparison, like a man could walk around with 11% fat and a woman would have 20, and that is
right.
for a
But 20 is
child.
not,
Yeah.
20 is, he doesn't look.
Small.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't look like you have fat when you have 20% fat. You
No.
look you look good. You look healthy. You look,
Yeah.
what's the word? Plump, but not plump. Like your skin looks, it looks, it doesn't necessarily look like ripped abs, but we're gonna be able to choose that as well too. Like if you
Yeah.
want to have that, you can, but I just want to encourage people. That's all. I just want everyone who's struggled with weight to just know that there is hope, like not just because of the med bed, but like because of this ancient knowledge of these foods that actually carry the light codes, and they carry light codes. That's a good segue. The foods that carry the light codes, really.
Yeah. Yeah, and fruit is one of the main things, but you don't want to get the hybridized fruit, which is what we mostly have available at the moment. So food is going to change in general. Like it's going to be massively different. Let's talk about the light codes, and then there's something else I want to talk about with weight.
Yeah, light codes.
Yeah.
Uh,
We're going to do a thing in September, and we haven't decided on everything because we're tuning into it, Rae and I, but we're going to be doing a light code activation. And I think that at the time, it's going to be extremely relevant because a lot of stuff will have happened by then, and this will help us kind of adjust to what has gone on. So I think it's going to be really good. But yeah, so we're
yeah.
just introducing it to you guys.
Yeah, I definitely want it to be something where I'm able to offer different dialects of light codes for you to listen to. So as you listen, you could potentially remember like that language, or it could activate your own light language, because our light language is our unique communication between us and the universe. I
Yeah.
mean, It's so therapeutic for yourself. I'm not talking about using it for other people. For yourself, like it's so therapeutic. It's such a gift. And we're all, especially by September 15th, we all will definitely be in a place to receive this ability because I want everyone to have it. I want everyone to have it. Everyone who
Yeah.
wants it, you know?
So it'll be like an activation and a learning in that activation that we're going to do. So, and it's not defined enough to really explain it all. So we'll keep doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about emotions and weight a little bit. So there's a lot of protective ideas that the body has. And I went into the Akash with mine the other day and found that one of them genetically was a starvation thing. So I had hoarded food in a past life because I had starved in a previous life. So kind of knowing and going back and breaking those contracts is also very important. And there's a book which I will bring up soon because I don't have it next to me, that tells you what emotion is connected to what illness. But
Wonderful.
I think all of us going in and dealing with our stuff at the root cause of it is going to be really big for our future.
Yeah. I also similarly released something with a twin soul, like a parallel, not even a parallel, like a twin, basically like a twin that was abducted from the womb of my mother kind of situation. Like, and they've been using her to have it to have a hold on me, and she's been in really terrible situation and starving and being mistreated. So I was basically feeling the effects of that because of this link that we had, because that's what, and because I have that strange, like, why do I always want to be eating? Like, what is going on? Like, I'm not even hungry, but it's almost like, what if there's not enough? What if there's not more tomorrow? What if it's always that starvation mindset? So,
Yeah.
anywho, I recently as well cut that. So we'll see. And I'm also working on incorporating some of the foods from the list of like cooked foods. So,
Good.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to find very interesting information about food in the future. Really interesting. What else did we want to talk about? Oh, so people,
sorry.
it's okay. People are basically coming into their own. And right now that means that you may be a person that's going to go more public with who you are. So we're probably going to do a show about influencers, and also maybe you're going to be an influencer just in your own town, but you could be an influencer in on camera. So start thinking about that. If that's something you're being pushed to do, start asking questions about that in the comments, because I want to definitely do a show about that, because it's a huge leap out of your comfort zone to do that. And also it's a massive energy exchange. And I don't think people necessarily understand that. Like, it becomes something you're doing almost every single day as your work.
Yeah.
So, and you're not seen sometimes as a real like person, because when you watch somebody from that perspective, you don't necessarily attach the same kind of feelings that you would attach to yourself, that they have the same kind of feelings. So it's important that you expect the best kind of audience for yourself when you come in. And I've had a really beautiful audience but I will delete a comment if it's really negative.
Yeah, same.
So, that kind of thing. It's really important to respect yourself when you get out in front of people. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
The energy exchange part is just so important. And there's actually been a interfering program that has been preventing healers and light workers from seeking help, feeling like, no, I have everything I need. I don't need help. Like, I've got this. Like, I'm self-sufficient, because all of those things are beautiful, but it has to be in balance. So, we've been actively dismantling that, myself and Amira. So if you have been feeling like you're just like, I've tried everything, I still feel terrible, I don't know what else to do, go seek help. Go find a healer or a friend who's a healer and maybe ask them to exchange a session with you. Or, if you have the funds to pay for a session, then go pay for a session with somebody. It's not wrong or shameful or weak, or we're here to support each other, and we all fill in different pieces of the puzzle.
yeah. And it's good to always be learning, but you could be learning something that's really relevant for you and not just the stuff. Like, how much time do you spend just with stuff and random information that we're just like absorbing constantly like a sponge? I feel like a lot of us have quit doing that at this point. So it's like we're more picky with our information, which I think is really good. So it's become very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important to know when to go in and be that sovereign, and when sovereignty means asking for help, right? Like the blossoming flower. I was doing a little meditation right before we got on here, and um this is what we wanted to end with. So I could feel all the, so I don't carry the collective energy with me, but I have days, moments, times where I'm like, whoa, this is big. And it sometimes it's harder to snap out of it than others. And sometimes it is a mixture of my stuff with collective stuff with, but anywho, I've had to step out of victim mentality the last couple days and be like, hey, if I don't have a lot of funds, then I'm not meant to be spending right now. If I don't have a lot of energy to give right now, it's because I'm meant to be giving to myself right now. Meant to be listening, tuning in. What am I missing? Give me some clarity, give me some information, right? So that was yesterday. And then today I said, okay, I'm going to bring all of my energy down into my heart, because I'm tired of being up here, tired of thinking in loops, thinking in circles. I had this like vision of all the loops. I could like see them all. I was like, oh shit. Every moment is a new moment. We don't have to do loops at all. Every moment can be new and fresh and clean and perfect and beautiful and whole. And so it was just like a wake up, like, okay, wake up, Rae. Like, so hold all my energy into my heart today. And when I did that is when I had the vision of the basketball player and we're in slow motion. And then after the slow motion part, the buzzer goes off. Everyone starts cheering. We're like, hell yeah, it happened. I already started visualizing the TikTok video I'm going to make when it happens. And I'm going to be like, I was right. I was fucking right. Like, I'm going to fucking, I don't even feel bad about like, it's not, I don't want to gloat, but I just want to party. I want to celebrate. I want to be like, we were all right. We were all right. All of us conspiracy theorists. We've been judged. We've been called crazy. Like people make, if this is the thing, like Honey's talking about, it's risky to put yourself out there. So you have to take certain measures to make sure that you don't allow yourself to just get arrows in the heart, because people make a lot of comments out of fear, and it could be hurtful if you take it personally, but you just can't. So, but anyway, I saw the victory party. I can see it. It's here. So why don't we just start now? Let's just start celebrating early.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you manifest stuff. Like I was moving once and I had no idea how I was going to get there, but I started packing.
Yeah.
And a month later, I had a transfer, I had an apartment, everything was happening.
Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
we can do this.
We can do this.
Yes.
Manifestation is our right. It's part
It
of who we
is.
are.
Well, and it's our humanity is so good at manifestation because we can bring the emotion into our body. We can feel it, we
Mhm.
can experience it. And once we are matching to the experience, then it comes in.
That's why this is exactly what we need to do right now. Pull all of this down because the heart is where that is, the
Yeah.
emotion, right? Like that's why when I tuned into the heart, I had the vision of the victory because my heart knows already. My heart is way more smart than my brain or my gut. My heart's like, yo, got nothing to worry about. We good. No stress. Debt is paid. Bills are paid. We rich, bitch. Like that's how the heart feels right now. So I'm just
Yeah.
gonna be like, I'm gonna live in here for a while because my brain is stressed out. My brain is confused. It's like the data doesn't add up. I don't think it makes sense. And my heart's like, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you think about those three spots, like the gut is more about the basic needs, that basic brain of fight or flight or nourishment, that kind of stuff. Your heart is where the toroidal field begins. Like that's where you begin, is in the heart. And the brain up here is a receiver.
And
So
it's
really
easily
the heart is
hijacked.
it. Yeah.
The brain is easily hijacked, easily. All of us still have programs in there that we don't know about, that we don't really want there, but we're just not quite aware of yet. It's still a process of deprogramming. It's the brain is risky. It's risky to live here because you've got
Yeah.
your intuition that goes through it, but it's like things get distorted. And then you're like, why am I hearing multiple answers in my head? So the heart is where it's at. That's where the truth is.
Yep. I think that's a great place to end. The heart
Yeah.
is where it's at.
Mhm.
Love you guys.
Mhm.
Bye.